Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. Kimball, question to you about priorities within USGS. I noted in my opening comments my concern about the natural disaster monitoring, specifically volcano, earthquakes, and if you look at the President's budget, we do see a slight increase in funding for natural hazards, but it doesn't sufficiently fund the Alaska Volcano Observatory's system of seismic monitors, keeping that working. It's my understanding that within a year or two without maintenance funds for system repair and transportation to the remote facilities, that we could see about half of this network offline, which of course it would be a concern. Another area where I'm just trying to get a sense of priorities within the agency. Back in 2007, I was successful in advancing a bill called the Alaska Water Resources Act, which called for USGS to increase the number of streams in the state that have river and stream gauges on them. We only have 100 USGS stream gauging stations, 1 per 10,000 square miles. In the Pacific Northwest, the states average 1 gauge for each 365 square miles. I think you understand very well the significance and the importance of these stream monitoring gauges. We just didn't see the funds that were prioritized to implement this 2007 Act. Instead, the Act expired last year without even 1 new stream gauging station that was added. Again, an area, just in terms of understanding what our resource is, which is critically important, whether it's for the health and safety or whether it's for understanding our ability to develop in areas. So the question to you, and I know it's broad, but how will you fight for those priorities for funding that are really very much within USGS's core mission? How do you determine where you place that priority when it comes to natural hazards monitoring and science and other base science spending?
Well, thank you for the question, Senator Murkowski. And I know that you've been quite a supporter of USGS activities in the realm of natural hazards and basic monitoring and data collection. I share your concerns about funding, and I share your sense of priorities for these basic data collection efforts that are essential for us to have in order to understand the system, how the system operates, and hence provide the information that will result in enhancing public health, safety, and welfare. The USGS over the past few years has approached the budget process in these times of very constrained fiscal constraints by in each year identifying 1 or 2 of those fundamental activities that we would promote and push, because there simply were not enough dollars in constrained fiscal times to be able to raise that bar for everyone and every program. And so we've been approaching it in a stepwise process. This year, in 2014, we were able to gain some additional funds to support the stream gauging network specifically and to support our natural hazards work. We were fortunate during the stimulus bill to be able to have enough resources to develop some of the monitoring capabilities for volcanoes and earthquakes, but again, not enough to fully implement our strategic plan for the system. If confirmed, I can commit to you that we'll be working with you and with our partners across the country to identify those funding sources to stabilize our basic data collection activities and to enhance those activities so they can meet a standard for protecting public health and safety.
Well, and I appreciate your response. I look forward to working with you on those very basic areas, which I think far too often get kind of pushed to the back when there's something brighter and shinier that then occupies this space, and that's my concern about this mission creep. So I ask you to be sensitive to that. I mentioned in my opening wanting to inquire a little bit about the black brant. I'm trying to figure out where these birds go after they leave the Eisenbeck Refuge. It's my understanding they go down to Baja. They're in an area near San Quentin Bay, Mexico. Must be pretty smart birds to summer in Alaska and winter in Mexico. But of course, the concern that I have is there are disturbances, whether it is people, hunters, aircraft, roads, avian predators, and I'm trying to understand where they are on the other end, because I can't see that a 10-mile, one-lane gravel non-commercial use road is going to so horribly disturb these animals that they can't make that, these birds, that they can't make that journey south. So I want to get a little more background and data from you. We can do that offline. Thank you, Madam Chair.